Chapter 361 Overthinking. If that's the case, then let you see the strength of our Vinsmoke family and tell you that coming here is definitely the stupidest decision you've ever made. Our Vinsmoke family is not something you can provoke a mere pirate. This is Yongji's arrogant words. He saw a more violent aura of power bursting out of him. He wanted to break through the shackles of this thundernet and bully Shajirqing to attack him. But, as the lightning isolated because of the battle suit, Shajirqing looked at the different colored battle uniforms on the three of them, showing a greedy look. A set of battle suits can make the three of you have such a dazzling performance. It's very good. The power of technology is really endless. I like this battle suit. What Shajirqing said was so reasonable, but after Iji and the others heard it, they immediately became angry. The three of them are wine bags and rice bags. What a joke. They were born as geniuses and are the most satisfying products of the Vinsmoke family. They have always prided themselves on being strong, but now, in Shajirqing's mouth, they have become trash. How could they endure it? They are angry. What an arrogant tone. Boy, let me tell you, you have completely angered us, and then we will use our strength to tell you what is awe and self-knowledge. Don't think that you can shout in front of us if you have a little achievement. Quote. Ichi and the three roared angrily, and more powerful flames, thunder and lightning, and aura of power erupted, and they wanted to break through the obstacles of the thousand birds and make Shajirqing look good. But, illusion gold binding. Shajirqing's indifferent eyes moved, and the three-hooked jade writing wheel eyes turned, which was an illusion brand. The pupils of the three suddenly shrank, and then there was no movement. Was subdued in an instant. Thousands of birds. Shajirqing waved his hand, and a long needle made of lightning flew out. Puff puff. The battle suits of the three of IG had absolutely no way to stop the lightning rod Chinbin, and the three of them were instantly beaten into a sieve. At this moment, there are countless blood beads flying, and flesh and blood, and the smell of burnt stench spreads. Ah! The battle suit was shattered, and the three of Izzy suddenly felt how powerful the 200 million volts of lightning that even the Sea Kings had to stop. In just 1 second, the three of them all fell down. HMPH, the three trash dare to shout in front of me, do you really think your battle suit is invincible in the world? Shajirqing cast a glance at the charred EG3, and snorted in disdain. Yilang is arrogant and is talking about them. I really thought I was strong enough to provocate myself when I had played against the people from North Blue. IG. Just when Shajirqing had just dealt with the three of EG, a roar suddenly came over. However, Judge rushed over with a face full of disbelief. Then, with a strong aura lingering all over his body, he took up his spear and stabbed Shajirqing. Electromagnetic thrusts. Don't be too arrogant, bastard. Above the stabbed spear, there is a terrifying electric current, with great destructive power. One blade stream Libo. Facing Judge who was rushing over, Shajirqing pulled out the stream of fire, the sword intent exploded, and he slashed out a sword wave that made the air retreat, covered by lightning, and rushed towards Judge. Bang! The entire sea shook in an instant, the air exploded, and the ground shattered into a crater of more than 50 meters. And Judge was blasted out like a kite with a broken string. Chapter 362 Can't Talk. Ah! Judge is not the opponent of this sword wave at all. After being blasted out, he was severely wounded on the chest by Janbo, tearing a wound across his entire chest, and blood spattered endlessly. With just one move, Judge lost to Shajirqing. But being able to withstand Shajirqing's move and not die has already shown that Judge's strength is good. After all, the people who can withstand 50% of Shajirqing's strength are basically the existences of the New World. But Judge's situation, if no one came to save him, he would still die from organ failure or excessive blood loss. Because the thunder and lightning on the sword wave, and the fierce sword intent contained in the group itself, are enough to kill him. It's really terrifying, Thunder Hunter. A low voice came, and then, a sharp sword wave flew out, resisting Shajirqing's sword wave. And Judge was rescued by another figure. In front of Shajur-Ching, there are already 2 more people. Behind him, a group of soldiers from the Kingdom of Germa and a group of soldiers from the Marine headquarters came around. Their faces were all cautious and solemn. The name Thunder Hunter is enough to generate enormous pressure. Oh, I didn't expect to see a few people in such a place. This judge is a little self-aware, knowing that he can't be my enemy of unity, so he invited you all here. Shajur-Ching looked at the 2 Marine Vice Admiral in front of him, and the other 2 Marine Vice Admiral who dropped down on the ground and severely injured Judge, and there was a rare dignified expression on his face. Marine Vice Admiral Momonga. Marine Vice Admiral Onagumo. Marine Vice Admiral Yamakaji. Marine Vice Admiral Dalmisia. These 4 people are all elites in Vice Admiral, and the minimum force value is 298. Hee, to deal with you, we don't think that this kind of battle can be regarded as worthy of you. To deal with a terrifying existence like you, no amount of troops will be considered grand. Momonga looked at Shajur-Ching, and couldn't help but squeeze the long knife in her hand, and her face was abnormally solemn. Since you think it's very troublesome to fight, why don't you just leave my people to me, so that I can go back and do business? Don't worry, as soon as my people are in hand, I will leave immediately, and I will never have the slightest conflict with you. Shajur-Ching discussed with a smile. Sorry, we refuse. But after hearing Shajur-Ching's words, Momonga and the others refused without thinking. Hearing what they said, Shajur-Ching's face turned gloomy, and said, So, it seems impossible not to fight. That's right, let the old man come to see your strength and how you can handle it. Shave. Dalmisia's face was full of excited fighting intent, and then, with a shave, he rushed in front of Shajur-Ching in an instant. Armament hockey was wrapped in his claws, and he stabbed Shajur-Ching. At the same time that Dalmisia rushed out, Onagumo, Momonga, and Yamakaji also rushed over with great strides, and they did not shy away from leaving a bad reputation for bullying more with less. To deal with Shajur-Ching, none of this matters. But Hancock will let them besiege Shajur-Ching. Marrow mellow. She activated her ability when she shouted angrily, and a wave of pink light spread out, directly shrouding Yamakaji and the 3 of them in. Chapter 363. It seems that there is only war. No, don't get hit, or you'll turn into stone. Seeing this scene, Momonga couldn't help saying out loud, quickly looked away, and then backed out. Hancock's charm is already great, and now that she has become a woman, her charm value has doubled. In the world, there are very few people who cannot be moved by the charm of the female Emperor Boa Hancock. Momonga and the others dodged, but those Marine soldiers were miserable and couldn't escape at all. But in an instant, there was an additional stone statue on the spot, which was truly terrifying. Go back to me. Shajur-Ching also suddenly drank violently, the strength in his hand increased a lot in an instant, and he bent Dalmisia's arm. Then, Shajur-Ching stomped heavily on Dalmisia's chest and blasted him out like a sandbag. Damn! Dalmisia resisted the surging chi and blood in her chest, slashed over 100 meters on the ground, knocked over a dozen Marine soldiers, and then stopped her figure. Thunderbolt, Heavenly Tribulation and Thunder Punishment. After Shajur-Ching flew to Dalmisia, she quickly sealed the seal. In an instant, the sky for several kilometers in a radius turned black in an instant, and violent thunder and lightning gathered together, exuding an incomparably terrifying aura. Momonga couldn't help feeling that their chests were extremely depressed all of a sudden. There was a sense of crisis like falling into an ice cellar, and their muscles tensed unconsciously. How about you guys, do you want to continue the war? Shajur-Ching was also haunted by thunder and lightning, and looked at Momonga and said with a smug smile on the corners of their mouths. As long as he thinks about it, the power of this thunder will come down with a mighty thunderbolt, destroying the kingdom of Germa, so that they will not have a place to stay, and the strength will be greatly reduced. Don't you care about the life and death of your subordinates? Seeing Shajur-Ching's appearance, Onagumo asked with an unusually solemn expression. Rest assured, I will control it accurately and won't hurt them. My target is only you. Do you think you can stop such terrifying lightning? Especially in the sea. If Shajirching faced the four Momanga alone on land, he really didn't have the courage. But now it's different. A small island like Jerma Kingdom, he can destroy one with one blow. Unless Momanga they never land. Otherwise, Shajirching is sure to hit them hard. Not to mention that he now has a right-hand man like Hancock by his side. I will never let you succeed, Thunder Hunter, you will never make it through today. Dalmisia gave a loud shout and rushed over again. And Momanga, Yamakaji and the others also rushed over. Seeing this, Shajirching couldn't help but sighed and said, it seems that there is only war. Marigold, Sandersonia, you two go save people, these Marines, leave them to me and Hancock. After Shajirching gave Marigold an order, his eyes turned into a kaleidoscope. Susanoo. The gigantic chakra erupted from his body, and the air was oppressive, and the huge, ominous Susanoo appeared in front of Momanga and the others. Then let me see if you can stop me. Shajirching shouted like this, and then, an ice-cold force rose into the sky, and the next moment, the thunderous thunder poured down like a torrential rain. Chapter 364 What are you holding me back? Don't underestimate us. We are not soft persimmons. Let you know the strength of our Marine Vice Admiral. In the face of this shocking thunder and lightning, Momanga and the others also burst out with a terrifying counterattack. 3 sword waves that were enough to tear the sky, and a manic and fierce claw strike, collided directly with the falling thunder and lightning, and actually tore apart the thunder and lightning, making them all temporarily relieved of the danger of being attacked by lightning. But in more places, there are still screams. After all, those Marines have no strength against this thunderbolt. Ah! This thunder has the terrifying power to destroy everything, and all the Marines have no strength to resist. They are all ruthlessly killed in the falling thunder and lightning. Boom! The earth is also constantly shattering, and the powerful airwaves set off rolling waves in the 4 directions of the sea, and then turned into a tsunami, directly submerging many surrounding island groups. Thunder Hunter, to hurt our Marine elite so much, you must pay the price today. This is Onagumo's roar. Like a sharp sword, he exudes a sword intent that even thunder and lightning can't get close to, and rushed towards Shajirching. Humph! Make me pay. I'm sorry, you don't have that ability. Shajirching shouted disdainfully, and when his mind moved, Susanoo held the sword in his right hand, and he shot down. This sword, the air was crushed. Even if it hasn't fallen, a large opening has already appeared in the sea, and the earth is constantly shattering, cracking a long opening. God Punisher! Onagumo growled, slamming the blow that completely locked him away. Boom! The ground trembled violently, and the ground beneath them suddenly burst open, the waves flew high, and I don't know how many sailors there were. Jerma's soldiers were blasted out and fell into the sea. That is, Momanga and the 3 of them hurriedly retreated, avoiding the terrifying thunder and lightning in the sky, and at the same time maintaining their figure not to fall into the sea. Hem! Onagumo couldn't help groaning, but he couldn't stop Shajirching's blow. Seeing this, Shajirching laughed and said, "Get out of here, Onagumo. You are so weak, what can you do against me? If you don't have diamonds, don't work with porcelain." Boom! Onagumo spit out a big mouthful of blood, and from the sky, dozens of air rings all the way out, and smashed into the sea, making the sea as if it had exploded, making a loud bang, the sea surface even more trembling. Momanga, it's your turn, since you won't let go, let me see if your strength is qualified to stop me. Shajirching shouted fiercely, and 6 arms appeared behind Susanoo, all holding long swords. The sword intent lingered, and they flew down awe-inspiringly. Be careful. Momanga and the others only felt that they were completely cold, and they didn't dare to be careless. They all used their strongest strength to fight. Boom! The air was crushed by the collision of the 4 of them, the sea once again exploded with a mad wolf, and another sea of soldiers flew out, screaming. Momanga Vice Admiral, is this not enough? It's not enough. Shajirching laughed out loud, the kaleidoscope turned faster, and the power surged again in an instant, blasting them all down. Chapter 365 I'm impatient. Wow! The powerful force made Momonga and the others spit out blood, but even though they suffered such powerful damage, they still clenched their teeth and used Moonstep to let themselves fall on the land, avoiding the greater danger of falling into the sea. You want to stop me in your state? Humph, if it wasn't for Sengoku's sake, you'd all be dead now. How do you want to continue fighting? Shajirching looked at Momonga and the others, looked down from above, and asked proudly. With his current strength, the only people who can defeat him are those at the admiral level. Momonga and the others went together. They were not Shajirching's opponents, not to mention they were separated. If they didn't die, it was already Shajirching's mercy. Damn, the gap is so big, is the Thunder Hunter so strong? Momonga looked at Shajirching, who was standing above Susanoo's head like a god, and said very unwillingly. They thought that the four of them should be enough to face Shajirching. As a result, it turned out to be such a one-sided situation. I have limited patience. I will give you 10 seconds to think, and then give me the answer. Leave or continue to be right with me. Shajirching folded her arms in front of her chest and said, after 10 seconds have passed, if you haven't given me a satisfactory answer, don't blame me for being ruthless. Pressure, infinite pressure is coming. Shajirching's words simply forced them to make a decision within 10 seconds. Time passed by like this. 7. 5. 4. 2. 1. Time is up, everyone, your answer is. Shajirching looked at Momonga and asked in a bossy way. Let's go. Momonga said with a bitter face, in the face of absolutely powerful strength, they can only give in. However, we also have a request. Momonga looked at Shajirching and wanted to make a request, but she was interrupted by Shajirching before she could finish her words. You guys don't want to continue to make further progress, do you want to negotiate conditions? Haha, do you think you losers are qualified to follow me? Negotiate conditions. Quote. Contempt, arrogance. You don't go too far. Hearing Shajirching's words, Dalmisia was instantly angry, but just as he said these words, a thunder gun stopped in front of him. Excessive, excessive. Shajirching glanced at Dalmisia and sneered. Germa caught my people, you stopped me, and you said I was too much. Who is more too much? Not to mention, Shajirching's words really made Momonga and the others speechless. HMPH, give you a little color, and you will still want to open a dye shop. Do you have such a good temper when I am the Thunder Hunter? Since you choose to leave, leave quickly, don't interfere with me saving people. Shajirching glanced at them impatiently, then dispersed Susanoo, looked in front of him, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and said, then, Reiju, do you think the Germa kingdom will continue? Are you going to fight with me? In front of him, the last member of the Vinsmoke family, the very toxic powder, Vinsmoke Reiju looked at Shajirching with a dignified expression, a posture ready for battle. If you want them to continue to die, go ahead. Looking at Momonga and the others who were supporting the evacuation order, Shajirching Vivi clenched his fists and said, but if you keep fighting, I don't mind destroying your kingdom of Germa. Chapter 366 You are better than these crap. Aren't you afraid of the world government's retaliation against you? Our kingdom of Germa is a world government member country. Once we are hurt, you will never be able to eat and walk away. Reiju is not afraid at all, at least it looks like this. The revenge of the world government. I've already beaten the people of your Germa kingdom like this, do you think I still care about those things? Shajirching just wanted to laugh after hearing it. Then what do you think? I have informed the world government, and their reinforcements will be here soon. Reiju's mouth curled into a smile, then looked at Momonga and the others, and said, everyone, if you can, please stay for a while longer, and the Germa kingdom will definitely thank you afterward. No problem. Hearing this, Onagumo and the others, who were still full of unwillingness, humiliation, and humiliation just now, responded without hesitation, and their faces were full of murderous intent. The four of them are indeed not Shajur Ching's opponents, but it doesn't mean that other people are coming for reinforcements, so it's not his opponent. If you can take down Shajur Ching here, it will definitely be a huge achievement. How about it, Thunder Hunter, do you want to continue? It's not good for both of us to continue, so let's just let it go, and both of us take a step back. My Kingdom of Germa releases the people you want and cancels the world government's request for help. And you Thunder Hunter, after you get the hostages you want, immediately evacuate the Kingdom of Germa. In this way, it is beneficial to both of us. How? Reiju still looks tense, but his face is full of victory. I have to say, you are 100 times more powerful than your younger brothers and your stupid and arrogant father. If a hero like you were to be the leader of the Kingdom of Germa, it would be a different scene to come to the Kingdom of Germa, at least not in such a weak state. Shajur Ching's face was full of admiration and said, "Okay, the deal." Hearing Shajur Ching's words, Reiju heaved a long sigh of relief. Her back was already wet. Negotiating conditions with a person like Shajur Ching, without any psychological quality, is really not good. For Shajur Ching's compliments, she just ignored them and didn't take them seriously. After all, it's good to hear this kind of thing, and it can't be taken seriously. Miss Reiju, are you releasing our pigeons? But this made Onagumo and others suddenly unhappy. Their dignified Marine Vice Admiral finally became a pawn in the negotiation between Shajur Ching and Reiju. They are Marine Vice Admiral, respected people among Marines. Now that I don't have any sense of existence, I can do whatever I want. What a joke. When they are fun. Everyone, please forgive my unreasonable troubles. It's really helpless to do this. I apologize to you here. I'm really sorry, I'm really sorry. Hearing these words, Reiju suddenly looked pitiful, bowed and apologized again and again, with a very low attitude. Well, Reiju is so sullen, what else can the big men like Onagumo do? If you worry about it, the Marines behind them may not be happy. Thunder Hunter, let's wait and see. In the end, their anger had nowhere to go, so they all sent it out to Shajur Ching. Chapter 367 It's just a lesson. Ah! This made Shajur Ching suddenly depressed. Who did he provoke, being treated like this? Let's go. This time, Onagumo they are really gone. And Shajur Ching also saw the person he wanted to see. Marigold and Sandersonia appeared in front of him with a group of beggar-like researchers. President. Master President, you are finally here. Woohoo, I knew you would come. The moment these researchers saw Shajur Ching, they were all very excited and burst into tears. All the fear and grievances were released at this moment. Okay, how can a big man cry? Let's go home. Shajur Ching couldn't help laughing bitterly when he saw this scene, and then said to these people. Well, go home. Listening to Shajur Ching's words, these people nodded heavily. Then, Miss Reiju, take care. After Shajur Ching said this as a farewell, he completely ignored the angry expressions on the faces of the surrounding Germa soldiers, and left with Hancock and others. Damn. These soldiers of the Kingdom of Germa all gritted their teeth, wishing they could just eat Shajur Ching like this. But because they didn't get Reiju's order, no matter how angry they were, they wouldn't just mess around like this. Bastard asshole. On the other hand, Judge, who was just rescued, half-consciously looked at Shajur Ching and the others who were leaving, showing an extremely angry expression. Destroy his Germa kingdom like this, completely ignoring His Majesty as a world government alliance. Simply lawless. It's so arrogant. Absolutely unforgivable. The most important thing is that even his daughter Vinsmoke Reiju devalued him. How could this be endurable to the proud and conceited judge? But Shajur Ching didn't just let Judge and the others go. Do the people who move his summer chamber of commerce really think that his Thunder Hunter is easy to bully, or do they think that the name of the world government alliance country has such a great deterrent effect? What a joke, others will be afraid of the world government, but he, Xia will be afraid. Non-existent. Therefore, he wants Judge Vinsmoke, and even everyone, to understand how serious the consequences are for those who touch Xia. Thunderbolt, heavenly tribulation and thunder punishment. In the distant sky, there was a sudden sound of thunder, depressing, heavy. This thunder and lightning, shouldn't it be? Looking at the thunder and lightning in the sky, Reiju couldn't help showing a look of disbelief in an instant. She couldn't believe that Xia would be so courageous and dare to take revenge on their Germa kingdom. Boom! A thunder and lightning, wrapped in the power of hundreds of millions, crashed to the ground, blasting the earth directly into a huge pothole, and then, more violent thunder and lightning crashed down, directly sinking an island. In this situation, Reiju no longer has to doubt it. Xia is taking revenge on their Germa kingdom. Asshole! When Judge saw this scene, his eyes were completely split, and he let out an angry roar. This is his blood. How dare Xia treat his hard work like this? Unforgivable. But just when Judge thought that the lightning was going to destroy more islands, the thunderclouds in the sky suddenly dissipated. It's as if the sunk island just now was really just a lesson. Chapter 368 won't end like this. But isn't this more of a slap in the face? If the thunder and lightning just now in the sunk island were questioned by the officials of the world government in the future, Xia could quibble and say that it was an unintentional mistake. Now, after sinking an island, the thundercloud dissipated directly. This is not to tell Judge clearly. The thundercloud just now was intentional. Bastard! Hunter of thunder, I must make you look good. Judge is so angry that he wants to vomit blood. Xia really didn't take him seriously at all. Throw His Majesty as the king of the kingdom of Germa directly to the ground, and trample him ruthlessly. But no matter how angry he was, it was useless. Xia has gone far. The marine who left, said they were leaving, but they didn't really return. Instead, it only stayed at the port. They were invited by Judge, and naturally they had to wait until they met with Judge before returning home. Otherwise, wouldn't it give Marine the feeling of disrespecting people? The Thunder Hunter is really getting more and more unscrupulous. It can be described as lawless. No, this guy must be contained, otherwise, with his potential, let him grow up. We Marine will never have a good life in the future, and the whole world will be completely chaotic and turbulent because of him. Onagumo clenched the long sword tightly with both hands, crackling loudly, his face extremely gloomy. Agree. Momonga's face was also extremely solemn, and she nodded in agreement. Now that Xia is so arrogant and domineering, after letting him grow up, that's okay. The sea will be overturned by him. The good days of the Thunder Hunter are over. Yamakaji exhaled and said, the king of Germa Kingdom Vinsmoke Judge is not a soft persimmon. He has suffered such a big loss this time, and he will not let it go. Look, it won't be long before we meet the Thunder Hunter again. Hearing this, Momonga, Onagumo, and Dalmisia all nodded in agreement. When you go back, you have to discuss things with Father Whitebeard. This time, I stabbed a big basket. Neither the world government nor Marine will let me go so easily. Don't think about it, they will definitely send quite a lot of troops to encircle me and give me a warning. Xia squinted, with my current strength, although I can deal with it well enough, if I can get a little military assistance from my father, it will definitely enhance a lot of deterrence. Ask Whitebeard for help. Xia had already prepared for this before coming here. Therefore, after rushing to Nine Snake Island and sending the researchers back to Mach Town, Xia left behind a shadow clone, and then took the fast boat to the New World alone. Marine Headquarters. What? The Thunder Hunters attacked the Kingdom of Germa. Sengoku was taken aback when he heard the reports from Momonga and others. This guy is too daring. Sengoku touched his beard and said with a headache. He sighed. I think the order from the world government will be issued soon. Vinsmoke Judge, this guy is not an easy guy, this time being so humiliated and discredited by the Thunder Hunter, he won't let it go. Chapter 369. They are the same person. That's not right. Take the opportunity to solve the thorn of the Thunder Hunter, and the sea will be much calmer in the future. Seeing Sengoku's headache, Momonga asked in confusion. Deal with the Thunder Hunter. Alas, you still think of him too simply. Sengoku couldn't help but sigh. Oh, is he any different? Hearing Sengoku's words, Momonga and the others suddenly showed a curious look, a look of listening intently. Sengoku said, Thunder Hunters have done so many things, haven't you found one? What's the matter? Momonga and the others asked in confusion. Sengoku replied, don't you think that he is very similar to the Shui Tong Shajirqing who died for a while? Shui Tong Shajirqing. Listening to Sengoku's answer, Momonga and the others are still puzzled. Speaking of Thunder Hunter, why did he suddenly have something to do with Shui Tong Shajirqing? Seeing them look puzzled, Sengoku continued, both of them have the ability to thunder and lightning, and even if the Thunder Hunter Natsu is highly talented, he can learn all the tricks of Shajirqing. But, having said that, Sengoku picked up 2 bounty orders, put them in front of Momonga and others, and said, but don't you think their eyes are too similar? Shajirqing's eyes are red Sango jade, while the eyes of Thunder Hunter Nachi are red hexagrams, just like this hexagram is an advanced version of Sango jade. Moreover, under normal conditions, the eyes are still red. And LT, P and GT. I used to think that what they had in common was a coincidence. After all, Shajirqing with blood pupils was killed by the Thunder Hunter Nachi. Momonga and the others looked at the 2 bounty orders in front of them and thought along the lines of Sengoku just now, not to mention, as Sengoku said, there are too many similarities. But recently, I carefully inquired about the process of Shui Tong Shajirqing's death, and found a lot of doubts. Also, Whitebeard is someone who regards his son as his life. It is quite strange that Natsu, the Hunter of Thunder, was not hunted down after killing the Shui Tong Shajirqing. But the most important thing is that the Thunder Hunter actually established a cooperative relationship with Whitebeard. If it was you, would you establish a cooperative relationship with a person who has a grudge against his son? Momonga and the others immediately shook their heads upon hearing this. Sengoku continued, this is not the most outrageous. The most outrageous thing is that after the Thunder Hunter captured the heart of the Pirate Empress, why did she take her to see Whitebeard? This is the case of a son and a daughter-in-law to meet his parents. But Thunder Hunter and Whitebeard are just a cooperative relationship, and they also have a feud for killing their sons. It can be said that it is only a cooperative relationship of interests. How could such an abnormal thing be done? Unless. Sengoku said this, he squinted his eyes suddenly, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Natsu the Thunder Hunter, and Shajirqing with blood eyes are the same person. One person. Listening to Sengoku's conclusion, Momonga and the others couldn't help being stunned. Of course, you don't have to be so excited, this is just a guess. See the Momonga, they are so excited, Sengoku Isho. However, we might be able to give it a try next. Our army is heading towards the Thunder Hunter. If Whitebeard sends a very grand force to assist the Thunder Hunter, then maybe my guess might be right. Speaking of this, Sengoku's expression suddenly became solemn, and he said, if this is the case, then we may really have to be careful. Chapter 370. You know you're panicking. If that's the case, then it's really troublesome. A Whitebeard is terrifying enough. If you add such a terrifying and huge potential Thunder Hunter, and a Pirate Empress, it is not an exaggeration to say that she is the strongest force in the world. Momonga and the others also responded right away. Yeah, if you really guess like I do, it's really dangerous. At that time, the world will really be in turmoil. This combination of forces is too terrifying. Sengoku also said solemnly. Okay, so be it. Guessing is just speculation after all, and the truth can only be known after practice. Sengoku finished speaking, he closed his eyes and rested. He believed that there should be news from the world government soon. Master Marshal, the Thunder Hunter went to the New World alone and met with Whitebeard. At this moment, a captain pushed open the door and entered, reporting the voice. Have you met with Whitebeard? Looks like I guessed right. Hearing this news, Sengoku suddenly showed a meaningful smile. Understood, you go down first. Sengoku waved and repelled the captain, and then closed his eyes again. Anagumo and the others also sat down on the seats beside them, and closed their eyes to rest. Now, just wait for the news from the world government. 15 minutes later. World government officials, come. Marshal Sengoku, excuse me. This is a middle-aged man in a suit with a grim face. Tell me, what does the world government side mean? Sengoku didn't give a shit, and asked the gate of opening directly. The Thunder Hunter must be given a serious warning, offending the majesty of the world government member countries, and must not be easily forgiven like this. If you can, please inflict heavy damage, or even destroy it. When necessary, you can abandon the Shichibukai Pirate Empress. World government officials said indifferently. Got it. Hearing this, Sengoku nodded, and then sighed again. You go back first, I will go and interview the Gorosei, 5 elders in person later. There are some things in it, I want to interview them. An LT, P and GT. Sengoku got up and said to the officials of this world government. Got it. Hearing this, the government officials of this world left. It didn't stop for a moment. Then it's time to talk to the Gorosei, 5 elders of the world government. Let me see, what is the connection between Natsu, the Hunter of Thunder, and Shajurching, the Blood Pupil? Sengoku is gone. New World. Whitebeard Pirates. Cool, you know you're panicking too. When Shajurching told Whitebeard what he thought, Whitebeard laughed jokingly. I can't handle it myself. So I came to my dear old man. I know you won't just watch your dear son suffer like this, right? Hearing Whitebeard's jokes, Shajurching was full of black lines. It's cool, don't worry, of course I won't see you in trouble. People who dare to touch my Whitebeard pirates will also see if I agree. Whitebeard grinned Isho, and the words were majestic. Marco, Vista, you two, take your people and go back with Shajurching. Whitebeard looked at Marco and Vista, and ordered. Dad, this can't be done, how can I let brother Marco go, he is. Hearing Whitebeard's words, Shajurching couldn't help but change his face, and hurriedly stopped it. Chapter 371. Just wait for Marine to come. Marco is the backbone of the Whitebeard pirates, how could he just leave? Isn't that an opportunity for people to take advantage of it? Cool, don't worry, it's okay. The labor and management are Whitebeard, but no one dares to challenge my majesty. Hearing Shajurching's blocking words, Whitebeard grinned Isho, full of confidence. Why, kid Shajurching, I don't see you anymore, brother Marco. Marco also jumped off the mast and said jokingly. Shajurching, listen to Dad, do you think you can change Dad's mind? Vista also persuaded with a smile. It's just the mere kingdom of Germa and Marine. If you dare to be presumptuous, let them know our strength. Vista has always been a fearless existence, proudly said. Yes, listen to Dad. The other captains also echoed it. Don't you're afraid that your identity won't be exposed like this? Seeing Shajurching's face full of reluctance, Marco asked as if he had thought of something. How can there be? It doesn't matter whether the identity is exposed or not now. Okay, since you guys are willing to do this for me, Dad, then I have nothing to be hypocritical. Then let the world government and the kingdom of Germa know our strength. Does the kingdom of Germa really think that becoming a world government country can rely on the world government to help him solve everything? Shajurching clenched his fists, showing a wicked smile, and said, I'm so sorry, there are people in this ocean that the world government can't deal with. Two brothers, let's go. Shajurching said, and then, their group set off. World government, Maria Joy. If it is as you guessed, then this is really a thing that is enough to shake the sea. Okay, just follow your plan. If it's really close to the facts, then we can also prepare for the next step. When there are real clues to prove your guess, we can start preparing to destroy the Whitebeard Pirates and the Thunder Hunter Alliance. Gorosei, 5 elders said solemnly. That's it, I'm leaving first. Sengoku stood up and said goodbye. Gorosei, 5 elders nodded, then fell silent. 9 Snake Island. When Shajirching and the others came back, all 9 Snake Island was under martial law. Next, just wait for Marine to arrive. I don't know what scale it will be this time. Will it be Buster Call level? Shajirching is looking forward to it. To even send Marco here, Whitebeard is really willing. Looking at this scene, the grandmother in the crowd couldn't help but say in amazement. However, after all, it is the Hunter of Thunder, and it is worth this battle. And beside Shajirching, Hancock, Anna, Marco, Foil Vista lined up. Behind Shajirching, Enel, Tezzolo and other officials of the Summer Chamber of Commerce lined up. Behind these cadres are the elites of the Summer Chamber of Commerce, with an average combat power equivalent to 5 million bounty criminals. Coupled with these female warriors on 9 Snake Island, this kind of combat power is enough to turmoil the sea. Not to mention there are Marco and Vista, elites in the New World, any one of them is a bounty of tens of millions of combat power. This kind of battle is more than enough to fight against Buster Call. Marine, how big should your battle be this time? Marine Vice Admiral, I'm afraid it won't be able to hold the scene at all. Why does my mother-in-law think like this? Chapter 372. What are you waiting for? Marine's arrival was not slow, and Marco and the others were not asked to wait for a long time. After about half a day, 10 warships came with a large army. On each warship, there is a Marine Vice Admiral, and behind them are all Marine elites. Looking around, there are about 5,000 people. And behind Marine, is an island dragged by a group of giant phone bugs, which is the Battle of the Kingdom of Germa. Shajirching saw at a glance Vinsmoke Judge, who was standing on top with hatred on his face, and his 3 conceited sons. They all look like they can't wait to stab him. But Shajirching didn't care about them at all, they were just a bunch of ants. What really deserves his attention is Marine. These coming Marine Vice Admiral, let alone, or all people Shajirching knows. In addition to Onagumo, Momonga, the 4 he is familiar with, there are Stoloberg, Bastiu, Doberman, these equally powerful Marine Vice Admiral. And the Giant Vice Admiral John Giant, Ronsa. Of course, there is also a Marine Vice Admiral that Shajirching most unexpected, the future Marine Admiral alternate, Vice Admiral Momoshige Guion. It's such a luxurious battle, you even sent the more famous Marine Vice Admiral in Marine, Marshal Sengoku, you really look up to me. Seeing this scene, Shajirching couldn't help squinting, and a rather excited smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. His eyes were full of strong fighting intent, which was shocking. And just when Shajirching was sighing about Marine's battle, Marine looked at the fortified battle on 9 Snake Island, and couldn't help showing a dignified expression. Whitebeard Pirates' first team captain, Marco, and all his team members. The captain of the 5th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, Foil Vista, and all his team members. And all the members of the Summer Chamber of Commerce, as well as all the members of the Shichibukai Pirate Empress Hancock and her pirates, all gathered at this moment. This kind of battle really makes one's scalp tingle. He is indeed a hunter of thunder, and his methods are heavenly. Momoshige looked at Shajirching, only to feel that the air was trembling, and her tone was unconsciously solemn. Marines, what are you waiting for? Let's attack. Judge didn't want to wait for a minute and a half, and urged Marine to attack quickly. Your Excellency Judge, please be patient. Hearing these words, Momoshige couldn't help but want to spit out a few words in his heart, but he still pretended to be polite on the surface and said, I'm calm now, attack now, I don't want to wait a minute. Hearing Mamasagi's words, Judge still urged in a rather rude tone. In order for the world government to put pressure on Marine and send so many troops, he can be described as a bloodbath. He is really heartbroken to death now, and it is not an exaggeration to say that blood is dripping in his heart. Therefore, in his opinion, these Marines must listen to him, attack Shajurching according to his intentions, and let him take revenge well, so as not to live up to his so much effort. Your Excellency Judge, do you think we can act rashly when the other party has such a strong formation and still has the advantage of the terrain? Didn't you see Marco, Foil Vista? What did they mean by being here? I don't think you don't know. Hearing Judge's words, Momanga said with a very calm expression. Chapter 373 Stupid Jumping Feet. So what, it's just a group of losers in the sea. What, are you Marines still afraid? Judge heard Momanga's words, he immediately exploded. Mr. Judge, please don't be impulsive, our Marines are all living lives, not the standard soldiers created by your science and technology, you can sacrifice at will. Anagumo glanced at Judge and said indifferently, we must be accountable to them and make sure their sacrifices are absolutely worth it, otherwise, it's just a waste of their lives. But to Judge's ears, these words were just excuses for Marine's fear and not wanting to send troops. Therefore, he didn't intend to urge Marine. Anyway, urging had no effect, he rushed out and gave an order, Germa warriors, rush with me. This move of Judge was completely beyond the expectations of Momanga and the others, and it was too late to react again. Stupid. Momanga and the others couldn't help but scolded, how strong is his Judge, doesn't he have any points in his heart? Rush up to give people heads and then use them to threaten them Marine. Come back, don't be impulsive. Judge can't stop it, Momanga and the others have no choice but to stop the three of IG. And go support Judge. But, HMPH, you still want to stop us from going out, you Marines are really cowards. I want to see, do you dare to watch us fall into danger and not take action? A mere group of losers in the sea, you all dare not face each other head-on. To invite you guys with wine bags and rice bags is really a waste of the resources of our kingdom of Germa. IG and the others dodged directly over Momanga and the others, and then they rushed over with Judge. Asshole. Seeing this scene, Momanga, Anagumo and others almost felt like they were scolding mothers. What kind of idiot father really has what kind of idiot son? Can't see the current form. Marco, Foil Vista, Thunder Hunter, which of these people is the most annoying? Why don't they go, are they really afraid? What a joke, they never been afraid of Marine. It's just that the current situation doesn't allow them to mess around, and they have to think long-term, otherwise, it's easy to let themselves be passive. But now, they just can't fight. Ichi and the others went to battle, and the artificial soldiers who completely obeyed them all rushed over. If they don't take action, these people will die immediately. How could these people from the kingdom of Germa be the opponents of those from Shajurching? If that's the case, let's go too. Seeing Judge and others rushing over, Shajurching grinned and showed a dangerous smile. Since everyone else is rushing up and they don't, greet, it's not too bad for the enthusiasm of others. Bang! Shajurching met Anagumo, the swords clashed with terrifying sparks, and the air was distorted by their strength. Anagumo, go back. A few days ago, 4 of Anagumo couldn't fight Shajurching alone, let alone Anagumo alone now. Anagumo groaned, and then was slammed back. One blade stream Libo. Shajurching had appeared in front of Anagumo like a shadow, and a brazen sword chi forced him away again. Chapter 374 Anagumo, Spike. Life is back. Anagumo's body exploded, and then, he saw the long hair behind him move like this, and then turned into 9 arms and pulled out the 9 long swords behind him, resisting together in front of him. Boom. Anagumo only felt his head shudder for a moment. The power of this sword wave made him feel as if he was hit by a galloping mountain, and his blood boiled violently in an instant. Then, the whole person was blasted back for a long distance, and the sea below him was shaken by a ripple. What's the matter? Is this not going to work? Onagumo Vice Admiral. Seeing this, Shajirching approached again, and the long fire sword suddenly broke through the air. Damn! Onagumo raised his sword to resist with difficulty, but where was his opponent? He was immediately knocked out and went a longer distance. Bang! 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 Shajirching's attack, one move was stronger than another, and for a while, Onagumo had no resistance at all, and was constantly forced to retreat. Till the end. PFF'd. Shajirching used Akai to run, shave, to speed up instantly, leaving a long hole on Onagumo's chest. Rankyaku Tempest Kick. Shajirching lifted his leg and threw out 2 wild sword waves, leaving 2 more wounds on Onagumo's chest and blowing him away. But it's not over yet. Shajirching made the seal again at a very high speed, and the whole body was instantly haunted by lightning. Thunderbolt, long, 1,000 birds and thousands of books. The lightning turned into a long needle with an arrow, which pierced the air, penetrated through Onagumo's body, and fixed him like a target. The 250 million volts of lightning completely ignored Onagumo's haki. Take away his fighting power. Marine Vice Admiral, Onagumo, defeat. Lord Vice Admiral. Seeing this scene, all the Marines couldn't help but turn pale in shock. If you have time to worry about others, why don't you worry about yourself first? Shajirching showed a very kind smile, and then the thunder and lightning all over his body suddenly became more manic and dazzling. Chindori Ryu. At the moment when the words fell, Shajirching's body was like a lightning center, and an unimaginable and terrifying lightning net erupted, covering the surrounding area for a kilometer. It's not that hard to unleash a kilometer of lightning, Enel can do it too, but Shajirching actually avoided all his own people within range and only attacked the enemy. This precise control force is really unmatched. Ah! Immediately, the Marines and the soldiers of the Kingdom of Germa all screamed. Even Momonga, Stoloberg, Judge and the others couldn't help but take off quickly to avoid being affected. And those who can't escape, are all in the attack of this terrifying thunder and lightning, or coma, or paralysis, or death. It fell down in one fell swoop. Do you think you can avoid it by taking off? HMPH, naive. Seeing this scene, Shajirching couldn't help laughing, and then looked at Enel. The latter immediately understood. Thor, thunder. Thunderbolt, heavenly tribulation and thunder punishment. Enel and Shajirching sounded at the same time, and Momoshiki wanted to rush over to stop it when he saw that his heart was not good. However, Momoshiki Vice Admiral, this road is dead, you can't let him interfere with him. Marco turned into a huge blue phoenix and stood in front of Momoshiki, stopping him from moving. Chapter 375 You have no advantage. You are the same, Momonga Vice Admiral, if you want to go, you have to ask me if I will answer it. Momonga was also stopped by Foil Vista. The battle has just started, and there is already a scar on Momonga's body, and the blood is flowing. Foil Vista, a guy who looks quite serious on weekdays, when he fights, when he is free, he grabs a handful of petals from his pocket and spreads them out, adding to the atmosphere. Vista's wave of sassy bag operations really showed them on Momonga. They didn't expect that such a famous big pirate as Foil Vista would still have such a show. A person who obviously looks so serious. This wave of operations may only be inferior to a big swordsman who rode a boat with a big black knife, and when Krieg saw it, he chased others to East Blue in anger and slashed other people's boats by half a point. Damn. But this made Momonga even more annoyed. Foil Vista was still fighting with him, and there was still time to spread petals, which showed that he was not serious about fighting himself at all. But, no matter how angry he is, he can't handle Vista. Poor ants, you dare to fight against your concubine. Who gave you the courage to fight against your concubine? Hancock's sweet fruit was turned on, and perfume femur kept kicking out, causing Judge to only feel a headache, and kept retreating and dodging, not daring to touch Hancock at all. The long spear in his hand had just been kicked to pieces by the petrochemical. He wanted to use lightning to strengthen his power attack, but he was repeatedly defeated in front of Hancock's Marrow Mellow. Hancock's charm is too great. Every time she releases Marrow Mellow, there is always a shot. In 10 seconds, more than 100 people have been petrified. Judge was afraid that his own negligence would also be tricked. Judge is so embarrassed, but his sons are on par with Mr. Two Bentham, Mr. One Daz Bones, and Zorro. The situation is better than he doesn't know. Back to Shajur-Ching again. The sky that I saw suddenly became dark clouds, and there were terrifying electric lights shining brightly, exuding a manic and depressing horror. No, hurry up and stop them, we must not let them succeed, otherwise, we will lose. Seeing this scene, Yamakaji was so frightened that the cigar in his mouth fell, and he wanted to evacuate. Evacuate. Let you evacuate. Isn't my preparation with Enel in vain? Seeing this scene, Shajur-Ching couldn't help laughing. He was so confident and had awe-inspiring fighting spirit. Kaleidoscope Fox's mind. Shajur-Ching turned Akina's blessing on this illusion, and all of a sudden, a slight fluctuation, like a breeze, brushed the faces of Yamakaji and others. It is an illusion that makes people feel like walking into a labyrinth. It can be performed on multiple people at the same time, and the practitioner will wander around unconsciously, just like being confused by a fox, consuming a lot of physical strength in vain. Then, they saw that they began to wander like a demon, and they even started to wander in the same place, unable to find the north at all. But they still have a worried look on their faces. Next moment. Anna, take everyone away. Everyone of the Whitebeard pirates, cooperate. Shajur-Ching's voice rang from the ears of everyone present. Anna heard the words and looked at him without any words, everything was in her eyes. She activated her ability, and the earth suddenly turned into a swamp. In an instant, all the people on Shajur-Ching's side were swallowed up. Even Foil Vista is shrouded in it. Chapter 376 Heavy Damage. Other than those from Marine and Germa Kingdom, the only people who stayed in place were Enel and Shajur-Ching, the spellcasters, and Marco, a freak who didn't need to escape at all. Break me. Yamakaji is a powerful faction with a firm will. After he was hit, he immediately reacted ashamed and forcibly broke the shackles. Stolberg and others also broke through with their own willpower. But I only broke through now, don't you think it's too late? Shajur-Ching showed a ferocious smile, and then, together with Enel, shouted, fall. In an instant, the entire Nine-Snake Island was illuminated. Boom! Pillars of giant thunder and lightning, like the wrath of the gods, descended on the earth, ruthlessly destroying everything that could be destroyed. Marine soldiers, as well as the people of the Kingdom of Germa, are still under the control of illusion, and they can't break free. Asshole! Momoshiki watched the thunder and lightning fall, but there was absolutely no way to help her. Marco completely held her back. In this thunder and lightning, although Marco can't attack her, she also has no ability to help others. This lightning is too terrifying. The entire port of Nine-Snake Island collapsed in an instant, and I don't know how many marine soldiers fell into the ocean like this. Ah! The screams of marine soldiers continued to come, and the waves on the sea surface were continuous, and even a tsunami was about to come, slapping the coast fiercely. Thunder and lightning continued to bombard the earth, causing more and more terrifying destructive power. Momonga, Stolberg and others are also in the thunder and lightning, struggling to resist. Getting hurt is inevitable. It's just that for monsters like them, they won't lose their combat effectiveness. The thunder and lightning lasted for more than a minute before it stopped. With just such a blow, Marine's side has completely fallen into the downwind. Less than half a second after the thunder and lightning ended, Marco flicked his wings, and a blue fire burst out from his body, and he returned to his heyday again. And Momoshiki, that looks like a scruffy, ragged one. As for Judge. Hee, I'm sorry, in the sky thunder just now, I was already in a coma. His battle suit was already in pieces, unable to withstand this terrifying thunder and lightning bombardment. Judges like this, the fate of the three IG brothers can be imagined. At this time, the earth suddenly began to wriggle. Then, Hancock, Anna and the others appeared again in front of Yamakaji, Momonga. This made their expressions suddenly become extremely solemn and serious. The Summer Chamber of Commerce Coalition, which had almost no damage, could hardly see any advantage against Marine, who had suffered more than half of their damage. Miss Reiju, quietly poisoning is not good. Shajirching landed, but looked at Vinsmoke Reiju who survived the thunderstorm on the coast and said, "What a sharp perception." Reiju couldn't help being shocked, and then, he couldn't help but retreat a dozen meters away, looking at Shajirching with a look of fear on his face. "Ha ha, this little action still won't trouble me." Shajirching's issue, his vision of the wheel eye, is not a waste. Chapter 377 Momoshige is not reconciled. Then, he looked at Momoshige and the other Marines, and said, "How are you, Mr. Marine, is this battle going to continue?" "Continue, your casualties will be even heavier." Momoshige looked at Hancock when he heard the words, and said in a very bad tone, "Pirate Empress, as Shichibukai, you actually helped Jota abuse, I will report to Marshal Sengoku well." When she heard these words, she really questioned Hancock, but in fact it was just a disguised confession. "Hee, just report it. But if you don't want to continue fighting, then take your Marines and leave. As for these individuals, let them exchange enough ransoms." Shajirching reached out and grabbed it, and lightning tentacles appeared, grabbing Judge and his son in their hands, and ready to negotiate conditions in front of Momoshige. Seeing Shajirching's unscrupulous appearance, Momoshige couldn't help clenching her teeth. A sharp light flashed in her eyes, and said, "You are too much, aren't you afraid that the world government will destroy you? You should know that as long as the world government thinks about it, it is a simple thing to destroy the unstable factor like you." Ha ha. Hearing this, Shajirching laughed, and he said, "If the world government really wanted to destroy me, it should have taken action long ago. Why wait until now? The kings of the sea are watching you Marine and the world government. Your every move is being watched by them. You Marines keep an eye on the movements of the four emperors in the New World, why aren't they like that? If there is still an Admiral Kizaru guarding the Marine headquarters, do you think they will be silent? The world government trouble him." Shajirching is not afraid at all. Because he knows that the world government simply cannot do it. This is a matter that affects the whole body. The Whitebeard behind him is not a dry eater. The world government has to weigh it before making a move. Can he bear Whitebeard's anger? What's more, if you want to destroy his Shajirching, you can't do it without 2 or 3 Buster Call level combat power. But Marine can't do Buster Call every time. You bastard, should have destroyed you in the first place. Hearing Shajirching's words, Momoshige gave Shajirching a deep look, and then looked at Momonga, Yamakaji and others. "Alas, withdraw your troops. The situation is stronger than people, even if they are not reconciled, they can only swallow their breath and choose to retreat." "Damn it!" The hawkish Doberman roared, and then the group retreated quite unwillingly. As for the Kingdom of Germa, Momoshige they can only wait and see. They can't protect themselves now, and they can only guarantee that the Kingdom of Germa will not be destroyed, that Judge will not be in danger, and whether they will be bullied badly is beyond their management ability. After all, they can't control it if they want to. "So, Miss Reiju, how much are you going to pay to redeem your fathers and brothers?" Shajirching looked at Reiju and looked down, all in the attitude of a winner. "How much do you want?" Reiju clenched his fists, his palms were all sweaty, he was nervous. She was afraid that Shajirching's lion would open his mouth. But she also knew that it was impossible for Shajirching not to speak loudly. Such a good opportunity, if you don't take advantage of it, you are really stupid. Chapter 378 A Billion Ransom. isn't it too much? Your father is 500 million, and your 3 younger brothers are also 500 million. I don't think this is too much. Shajurching looked at Reiju with a negotiating tone on her face. When Anna next to Shajurching heard Shajurching's words, her face suddenly became a little weird, surprised, helpless, everything. She originally thought that Shajurching's offer ranged from 300 million to 500 million, but as a result, Shajurching said it was 1 billion. Damn Thunder Hunter, don't go too far, do you think this billion fell from the sky? Hearing Natsumi Yang's words, a Germa Kingdom soldier not far from him shouted angrily. Boom. But what greeted him was a swish lightning strike. Shajurching said without moving his eyes, in this case, when will it be your turn to interject like an ant like you? How wild. Thunder Hunter, don't you think your approach is too domineering and arrogant? You are simply robbery. Momoshiki, who heard Shajurching's words, frowned and said. Does this have anything to do with your Marines, Your Excellency Momoshiki, your hands are a little too wide. Hearing these words, Shajurching cast a glance at her, although his face was full of smiles, but there was no kindness in his tone. How about it, Miss Reiju, I'll give you a 50% discount for your sake, so that you can take your father and brother away for 1 billion, otherwise, I'm going to offer 2 billion. An LT, P and GT. Think about it quickly, maybe I will raise the price in the next second, and then it will not be something that 1 billion can solve. Shajurching said as if he had given Reiju a special kindness. 1 billion will you really spare my father and brother? Reiju said with a struggling expression. Of course, I am a person who counts and never violates my credibility. Hearing Reiju's words, Shajurching grinned and showed a big smile. Good deal. Reiju gritted his teeth and pondered for a while, and then agreed to Shajurching's request. Refreshing. If that's the case, then ask Miss Reiju to go back and allocate funds now. Whether to swipe the card or directly use the treasure to exchange. Seeing that Reiju agreed to his excessive conditions, the smile on Shajurching's face suddenly became brighter. I will transfer the funds to you as soon as possible. Until then, I hope my father and brother's personal safety can be guaranteed. Reiju looked at Shajurching with a solemn and determined expression, said. Don't worry, I never mistreat captives. Hearing this, Shajurching patted his chest and assured. Let's go. With Reiju's order, the people from the Germa Kingdom were evacuated. Marine, of course, also evacuated. Or keep waiting for a new battle to start. That will only make their losses even more severe. The battle appears to be over. Seeing this scene, Marco on the side regained his human form and turned into that lazy uncle again. I didn't see it, your kid is so cruel, you extorted 1 billion in one bite, tisk tisk tisk, you kid can make money so fast. Foil Vista looked like she had just met Shajurching, and said with emotion. Not to mention, Shajurching has been away from the Whitebeard pirates for several years, and he really has the feeling of knowing Shajurching for the first time. Such a domineering and arrogant Shajurching was not like this before. There's no way, I'm such a powerful force at a young age, even if I don't want to change, the times will force me to change. Shajurching said very helplessly after hearing this. Chapter 379 You are a billion ransom, will the world fall? Thank you very much for your support this time, thank you very much. Shajurching expressed his gratitude to Marco and Foil Vista and others. Then, he looked towards Hancock and said, let's have a banquet, right here, let's have a good carnival. Well, listen to you. Hancock nodded without hesitation, without any hesitation at all. The judge is yours, Anna. Shajurching handed over the 4 prisoners in his hands to Anna. The latter's chest room turned into a huge mud vortex, swallowing Judge and the others. This made the others sweat profusely, wouldn't they be afraid of suffocating Vinsmoke Judge and his son? But Shajurching obviously didn't have this consideration. After handing over the person to Anna, he immediately started arranging for Marco and others to rest. Then, A grand and lively banquet, left on the islands outside the Nine-Snake Island, began. There is a topic of men among men, bragging and farting. There is a woman's language between women, chatting and laughing sweetly. In short, the atmosphere is a good one. By the time the banquet was over, it was already night. Marco and the others went back to the ship for the night. And Shajur-Ching, after saying goodbye to Marco and others, put his arms around his two little wives and returned to the palace on Nine-Snake Island. Afterwards, under the strong urging effect of alcohol, Shajur-Ching spent the night of $1,000 with the two women who were shy with red faces. The next day, Shajur-Ching, who was refreshed, wandered to the beach with nothing to do, and then saw Marco, who also got up early and walked on the ship. "Yo, getting up so early, unlike you, why don't you spend more time with your two daughters-in-law?" Marco joked about Shajur-Ching. "Ha ha ha, I can tell you, I was kicked out by them." When Shajur-Ching heard about Isho, it was impossible to deny. "Count the time, Vinsmoke Reiju, it should be coming soon." Shajur-Ching stretched out his hand to cover the dazzling sunlight, looked at the distant sea, and said. Marco couldn't help laughing, and said helplessly, "Ha ha ha, don't worry, $1 billion Baileys is not a small amount, but you, Marine, should want to eat you now. You have to be careful in the future, if you get caught, it will be bad." After the words fell, Marco's expression was quite serious. "Don't worry, I know, it's not that easy to catch me." Of course, Shajur-Ching also knew that Marine would definitely like to get rid of him now, but he thought that with his current strength, Marine could not easily need it. After all, he can be regarded as a powerful party now. "You can know what you have in mind, and I won't say more about the excess. Well, when the ransom from the Kingdom of Germa arrives, we should almost return to our lives. You kid, take care." Marco patted Shajur-Ching on the shoulder and ordered. "Did you go back so soon? Don't you stay for a while?" "Brother Marco." Hearing that Marco was about to go back, Shajur-Ching said with some dissatisfaction. "Dad also needs to take care of me, how can I stay for so long? I can't help myself." Marco couldn't help laughing bitterly. He is one of the pillars of the Whitebeard pirates. He is very important. If he has been away for too long, it is easy to cause trouble. Alas, it's really people in the rivers and lakes, can't help themselves. Hearing these words, Shajur-Ching couldn't help but sighed lonely. If you want to keep people, you can't keep them. Chapter 380 Threaten me, please see the situation. If you're willing to go back to the Whitebeard pirates, you won't have this trouble. Marco rolled his eyes at him and said. It's not far from that day. When Shajur-Ching heard Isho, he also wanted to return to the Whitebeard pirates, but he still had a lot of things to do before returning to the Whitebeard pirates. Whatever you want. Hearing Shajur-Ching's words, Marco couldn't help rolling his eyes again. Meanwhile, Marine Headquarters. As I thought, Thunder Hunter, you really have a close relationship with Whitebeard. It's even very possible that you are Shajur-Ching with blood pupils. However, I didn't expect that 10 Marine Vice Admiral led so many elite Marines, plus so many soldiers from Germa Kingdom, and finally lost to you, Thunder Hunter. You are much stronger than I thought. Ah. In this case, the importance of you will be raised a lot again. When the time is ripe, that will be the end of your life. Cherish the time now. Sengoku looked solemn and said coldly. No way, the existence of Shajur-Ching is affecting the balance of the sea more and more. He is the obstacle between the weak balance of Marine 4 Emperor, Shichibukai. If he is allowed to continue to be strong, the future situation will definitely exceed their Marine's control. Holy Land, Mariajoy. Let people prepare, this Thunder Hunter must be eliminated. I can't continue to let him develop. Within a year, I want to hear the news of his death. These are the words of one of the Gorosei, 5 elders, icy and terrifyingly murderous. Killing order. Since the establishment of the world government, such an order has not been issued several times. However, this is enough to prove that Shajir Ching's current threat has made the world government jealous. Also, cancel the title of One Piece Shichibukai and choose someone else. This title can't be given to him again. Cancellation of Hancock's Shichibukai name. This is completely expected by everyone. I'm looking forward to the next plot development. A certain sea rogue said with a wicked smile on his face, with an expression that he was afraid that the world would not be in chaos. And in other parts of the world, the pirates have never been less concerned about Natsumi. It's the Thunder Hunter, amazing. If you can be a pirate to the level of a Thunder Hunter, then there will be no big regrets in life. Words like this have never been missed. Shajir Ching is here. Welcome to next time. After paying with one hand, Shajir Ching got 1 billion. But his words made Reiju suddenly feel the urge to vomit blood. Still coming. What a joke, this billion has already caused their Germa kingdom to bleed. Again, she was afraid that Judge's little heart couldn't take it. Hunter of Thunder, you wait for me, if you don't avenge this revenge, you won't be human. Under the escort of Marine, Judge made a threat after driving nearly 1,000 meters away. Then, what did you just say? Shajir Ching looked at Judge with a face full of horror and disbelief in front of him with a smile, and laughed. The sea, in front of Shajir Ching, has never been a dragon pond and a tiger's den, but just a piece of flowing land. Threatening him at the door of his house, Judge does not dare to tear up the votes when Shajir Ching. The distance of thousands of feet, for him, is only a short 1-minute journey.